Hey, this is Steven from Legit PC, and today we're going to talk about dedicated Physx cards. So before I mess around with this card, of course, I would suggest that you have an anti-static work mat, anti-static wrist strap to an appropriate ground, and make sure that you're not wearing any socks and you're on hardwood floor rather than carpet, etc., etc., etc. So we're going to talk a little bit about dedicated Physx card. Here I have mine that I'm running right now. This is a GTX 460 Superclock EVGA, and I have this in my current PC to test what you could do with dedicated Physx. Now, first of all, the main question everybody would be asking, and here's the card if you didn't see it completely, GTX 460 Superclock. Yeah, pretty basic. Anyways, so of course the big question is it worth it? So this is what I believe with Physx cards. Of course, number one, the game has to be enabled for Physx. So usually it's an Nvidia optimized game, so you're not going to see that in like something like Tomb Raider. Mainly the biggest games that are like that would be something like Metro is a big Physx game. Alien vs. Predator is a big Physx game with tessellation and stuff like that. You have, and of course, the Batman series. Usually a lot of the Unreal Engine games will have them. Anyways, so those are the main games, but there's thousands of games out, and those are just, four franchise titles that have that enabled. So, and there's also a couple free-to-plays like Hawken and stuff like that. So most of the time, this is not worth having in there all the time and drawing power. If there's a game that comes out that you like playing, or like maybe one day a first-person shooter comes out with high Physx on it, then yeah, sure, you could run it in your system all the time and just be drawing the power, have no problem with it. But this is in there drawing power all the time. It could, and also generating heat. It could be drawing very little power, but it's still drawing power from your power supply and still bringing up your electric bill. Now, when it is enabled, it's usually a throw up of whether it's going to be very well utilized or not. Something like Metro Last Light wasn't very utilized. I only saw about maximum use on this of about 6% on Physx. So I'm guessing they just didn't have too much Physx stuff on there. And then something even like the DirectX 11, the Bureau didn't even use my second card here. And if you look, you can find this on all my games that have an overlay. The overlay will show my GPU 1 and my GPU 2, and you'll see the utilization there. Most of the time, on a game that doesn't have Physx, it's going to be 0%. But on the games that do, you'll see it pop up. Now, the biggest game that I've seen utilize dedicated Physx would be Hawken. At one time, I guess it was unoptimized, and I would get like 98% on the card. But here's also the downside. If you have a dedicated Physx card and it's not enough to take on that game, you could really, really drop your frame rate. For example, Hawken, you force in the Nvidia control panel to have this guy be the only guy that touches Physx. So, if you get to a place where this is 99% utilization and it needs more, it will not go to your other card. It will wait for this to handle Physx before the card could continue. So usually when you hit this, when you hit that max, you'll be at 60 frames, 70 frames per second. All of a sudden you'll drop down to 15 to 10 frames per second, and it'll be really, really low optimization and not be very good. Alright, I'm back. So it will wait. You're forcing this card to be the only one that handles Physx, so you will have to wait until this card's done with the Physx before your other one could go, and that will be 15 down to 15 frame drop from 60 to 15. It'll just completely slow down, which happened a lot in Hawken. Doesn't happen as much anymore. Now the biggest utilization of this, of course, is Hawken. You'll see now I think it's about 20% utilization, and really, really good Physx in that game. Another game is the most recent Batman Arkham Origins. I made sure that I would do a video of this when Batman Arkham Origins came out to take a look at this. Most recently, I've seen about 20% utilization on this card, and I have Physx on high. Everything's turned up to high, and it plays about 50 frames per second on a 660 Ti, which is really good. And it's probably because of this guy handling all the physics on that particular game. But of course, that's an Nvidia game, and I don't know if this gets utilized on the other Nvidia game, Assassin's Creed or Splinter Cell. I don't think so. You could go ahead and check on my reviews on those games, and they'll have overlays on them, and you'll be able to see there whether it does that or not. But so chances are, do you need? Of course, this is the big answer. This is a big question. Do you need the dedicated Physx of a Physx card? I would say most of the time no. So you can skip that right away. Most of the time no. But it does bring, I think that is a huge technology that is very overlooked. I think that hopefully in the future that a lot of games will utilize dedicated Physx and have really, really beautiful games that everybody will enjoy playing on these particular cards and have a great time playing them, because these cards take a lot off your main card. But most people, of course, prefer SLI. They get rid of their old cards like this. Not to mention, this is a big help if you're doing video editing and you have two cards on there, but you can't SLI. Of course, most software doesn't utilize SLI anyways. So if you have an old card and you're not using it in a new system, put it in your system and have one card run one instance of whatever you're using, Vegas, Premiere, After Effects, whatever. Use that one card, your higher card, to do the larger video, and have your smaller card do the other video. Of course, this is a 460, my other one's a 660 Ti. So I'll have the 660 Ti do like a 30-minute video, and have this guy do the smaller video. That way I get the most done at the same time. Yeah, of course it's going to be slower because the processor's doing two, but now you have the acceleration of separate cards doing the work for you. And yeah, so that's one of the benefits of having two cards in there. So if you are a video editor and that works for you, I haven't really tried it. I should actually try it. I've seen where you could go and switch it inside the options. So I'll try that and let you guys know in the comments if that works. But I'm pretty sure it will. So if you are a video editor and you don't have enough money to get a second card of the same or a better card than that, then I would suggest throwing in one of your older cards and doing it that way. It'll definitely improve your workflow. You cannot use two of the cards at the same time, but you can separate them out, whether it's SLI or not. Most things don't utilize SLI. So those are the two things. So it does help with some people with their workflow. For example, people that love those Physx games, play games like Hawken and a lot of, basically if you play a lot of Nvidia titles, then I would go with dedicated Physx. If you're playing if you're playing just random titles, then Physx, you'll probably come across like, I think I came across like 4 games this year that ran Physx, which is pretty low. And I've just recently ran this, and I've seen some games have really bad utilization of Physx, and some games have really good utilization of Physx, and really keep your frame rate from going to the toilet, and keep your frame rate nice and high. For example, games like Batman. So I would check it out. I might even do I might or might not, because of course all that video is on my site, is on my YouTube of the reviews of those games. I'll probably put a link in the description showing which games have it, and then just search them in my just search them on my channel, and then I'll probably have those games in there, and you could look at the overlay and see how well utilized dedicated Physx are in those games. That's the best suggestion I have for you, because there's like 4 games that have that, and I don't want to add it all at the end of this video. So basically what I'm saying is that if you're looking for this technology and this video has caught your interest, and you want to research further, that's what I would start. If you're looking into actually adding in your Physx cards and see if you're worth it, look through those games that I put on the there's a table of them one time I looked through, and I'll find that table and put it into the description, the link to there. And like I said, search through my videos, find those, look how well it's utilized, look at my frame rate, compare it to others, and you should get your answer. But like I just said, the main answer is that sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Even if it does have it in there, it's not always the best. Like I said for Metro, it's not always the best utilization of dedicated Physx cards. But if you're a video editor, then it's all good. It doesn't matter to you because you could split up the workflow. Anyways, so this has been Steven from Legit PC talking about dedicated Physx Nvidia cards and whether I think it's worth it or not, and my 2 cents on it, and try to help you guys out and point you guys to the right direction if you're thinking about using this technology. If you like my videos, please subscribe for other videos like it, and stay tuned to my channel for other videos. And I would like to thank you for watching. Take it easy.